Welcome to Don the Short Sale Guy's YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be talking about the top 5 mistakes that realtors make when they do short sales. I can preface this by telling you that for those of you who don't know, my company has been specializing in doing short sales for 18 plus years. Last time I checked, we've done at least 1,500 of those short sales in that period of time. I seriously doubt that anyone has done short sales as long and as consistently as we have. It just seems to be a sad fact that a lot of investors and realtors don't want to bother with short sales unless they have to. And for most, it's funny if you talk to realtors who've been around a while, you ask them about if they do short sales, they'll say, yeah, I did them in 2008, 9, 10, or whatever, when that was all you could do in the market was short sales. But as soon as the market picked up, I stopped them right away because I don't like them. And it's unfortunate because actually, as someone who has specialized in short sales for all this time, I can tell you that short sales are very nice, and you can make very nice money if you specialize in short sales and know how to do them. But the problem is there's so much emphasis in the education department, or the market, I should say. For example, if you go into, if you're a real estate agent, licensed agent like myself, and if you can get certified as a short sale expert, and I've seen the education, I've seen the curriculum, and it's very much, I would say, process oriented and not so much result oriented. I mean, what I mean by that is that yes, it's certainly valuable to know exactly how to do the paperwork and all that kind of stuff. I mean, yes, you need to know that too. But there's a strategically, it's not very good. Okay, it's like giving a monkey a hand grenade. I mean, who knows what's going to happen and when he's going to blow himself and whoever else up, because there's no reason behind it. You know how to go through and do something, but the hows and whys and whens, not so clear. So I'm going to talk about the top 5 mistakes that I've seen realtors make in their short sales over the last 18 years. And I'm going to start in descending order. So I'm going to start with number 5. Number 5 is they tend to list their property too high initially. Uh, a lot of realtors do this, and it's I guess it's a byproduct of the idea that realtors, well, they may not be taught this, but it's kind of like an unwritten rule. If you want to get a listing, then you need to convince the homeowner that you can get them the highest price possible. And they also feel like that, while they do have somewhat of a fiduciary responsibility to the bank is not their client. Their homeowner is their client. And there are problems that arise when you put the property price too high. Number one is there are banks out there that will order the appraisal right away. As soon as you send in an authorization to release information and a copy of your listing agreement notifying the bank that you are now the listing agent, sometimes that will trigger a BPO, broker's price opinion, or a appraisal. For those of you who don't know this jargon, basically a BPO is when the bank sends out a realtor to give them some comps, 3 comps, and take pictures of the property and just do basically just a very basic appraisal, not too much research on it. An appraisal, of course, is a full-blown appraisal done by a licensed appraiser. Sometimes they'll do both. So, um, so a lot of times, if that happens, then the BPO agent or the appraiser is going to give great weight to that listing price. So you may get stuck with a really high price and not be able to do anything with it. And why is that a problem? Because it's anywhere between 3 to 4 months that you're stuck with a appraisal amount, and unless you know how to do value disputes, then you're going to be in jail with that high price. And meanwhile, at least if you're in Florida, the clock is ticking when it comes to the foreclosure. If there is a foreclosure. So that's one thing is a huge mistake is that realtors make. They come in way too high. And that's I would try to avoid that. The fourth mistake that realtors tend to make is they come in too low on their initial listing price. And you would say, why is that a problem? It's a short sale. Well, you've got to understand the psychology of banks. While it is possible to make really nice money doing short sales as an investor, I can tell you that. And listen, discounts are the way you make money in short sales as an investor. So you're trying to, because when you're the whole idea as an investor is that you're trying to create equity, and the discount equals profit. Okay, but as a real estate agent, that's not your goal, because you're only allowed by law to get a commission. So, and obviously, if you drop the price, that means your commission is dropping as well. But there's also this idea, and I hear this so many times from people who don't know what they're talking about in short sales, is that they say that, well, the bank knows they gotta discount this property to move it. Well, they don't think that way. Okay, they don't think that they want to move this property. Again, I hear this stereotype or this opinion that's very wrong, where someone will say, well, it's a short sale, and they prefer to get it gone in a short sale as opposed to taking it back as a real estate owned property, because they know they'll make more on a short sale than they will in REO. Not necessarily. Okay. Again, the mentality of the bank is different than yours. There are now banks that will come in and do rehabs on properties and put them back up. So that's not necessarily the case. And I say this when I hear realtors who have been in license for a while, and we're doing short sales back in the early 2000s or mid 2000s, before 2010, during the financial crisis. And that may have been true then, but it's not true now. And so if you haven't been doing short sales the entire time, then your knowledge is really obsolete, I would say. Okay. So um, if you come in way too low on your initial listing price, then the bank is going to red flag it, and you're not going to be taken seriously. Okay. So seriously, you could shoot yourself in the foot immediately by coming in too low. So it's really important that you find a sweet spot between too high and too low. And that's really where we've been able to make a lot of money and close a lot of short sales, because we've learned how to do this through our experience. So, and oh, by the way, if you'd like to learn how to do shorts like we do, look in the description of the YouTube video. I have a webinar coming up on February 15th that you can attend, and I'll go into more detail about that. So that's number 4. Number 3, the third mistake that realtors make when they do short sales is they don't involve the buyers and the buyer's agent enough. And you would think, well, that doesn't make sense. I'm the listing agent. I don't, why would I want to involve them? Well, here's the thing about the bank, and honestly, if you look at this logically, it doesn't make any sense. But sometimes the bank will give more weight to your buyer's agent opinion or your buyer's opinion than they will yours. Even though you're the listing agent, you would think that they would give more weight to your opinion and whatever documentation you provide them to justify whatever price you're looking to take. But that's not true. Lots of times, it will mean more to them, and it will help bolster your argument as far as trying to get an approval or approved price that meets with whatever contract is coming in, is to get documentation from the buyer's agent and or the buyer him or herself. Okay, so what do I mean by that? Well, pictures, comps, repair estimates, whatever documentation they can provide. A lot of real estate agents who are listing agents who are doing short sales don't even think about doing that, and it's a huge mistake. We always request and urge our buyers agents, and obviously their buyers as well, to provide us with as much documentation as they feel they can get. Now we have to filter it, of course. It's not a lot of what they give you is not germane to, or won't is not useful and won't be helpful to what the bank wants to see, but that's fine. It's your job as the expert, as a short sale expert, to filter out all the bad stuff, or not bad stuff, useless stuff, and just take what will help you in your negotiations. So that is really the third mistake that a lot of realtors make when they're doing short sale negotiations as a listing agent. Number two, I would say that the second biggest mistake that I see is that there's not nearly enough documentation that's being done by the listing agent. Okay. And it can be, I mean, seriously, we really get into the minutia, into the weeds with our documentation for short sales. And it's really important because you are, I mean, you know, think about this from the point of view of a lawsuit or a criminal case in court. You have got to prove to the jury without a reasonable doubt that this offer that you got that you received from your client, or excuse me, from a buyer, is the highest and best price and the best price for the bank. Okay, now that's because that's what the bank's looking for. You got to put that in those terms. And the only way they're not going to take your little CMA, they're not going to take, you know, your an email. You really have to make a case, be the prosecuting attorney in court, document your everything. And again, that's what we do. And I do sell my short sale training where we go into this in more detail. So if you're interested in learning more about it, then by all means reach out to me. My information is in the description of the video here below. And finally, the most important, or I would say the biggest mistake that realtors make when they do their short sales, by far the one that shoots them in the foot most, is drum roll. I'm not going to tell you. If you're interested in knowing more about it, reach out to me. My webinar is coming up on February 15th, and you will have the opportunity to learn about that and all the other things that we offer in our short sale training. So I thank you for your time. Thank you for watching. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Thank you.